MSNBC's anchor Toure, and yes, he goes by just the one name, making some very harsh remarks on the air earlier this week, attacking Senator McCain, calling him old and white, and saying he is tarring, his word, UN Ambassador Susan Rice over her Benghazi remarks. Toure goes on to accuse the Arizona Republican of wrongly attacking Rice because she is a much younger black woman. But in spite of those claims of racism, Senator McCain approved both Condoleezza Rice and Colin Powell. Judith Miller is a Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter, author, and Fox News contributor. Kirsten Powers is a Daily Beast columnist and also a Fox News contributor. Both are part of our News Watch panel today. Kirsten, you have been pretty vocal about what he had to say here.
Yeah, well, and I've actually been in a little Twitter battle with him earlier today, where he's just doubling down on this, and he's claiming he hasn't called Senator McCain racist, though then he sort of has implied that again in the Twitter comments.
Senator McCain, who voted to approve two black
he said, when I brought that up, he said that's like saying all my best friends are black or something. I was like, no, it's like saying he confirmed two black secretaries of state, which means he's not actually opposed to black people being secretaries of state. But, you know, I think this is a very toxic, very dangerous thing that's happening. And it didn't start with this person. It started actually with some Congressional Black Caucus members coming out and saying, isn't it so sad that whenever anything goes wrong, they pick on women and minorities, and talking about Susan Rice. Susan Rice is a very accomplished person. She's a Rhodes Scholar. She's very smart. And she shouldn't be talked about as if she's this child. She's up for Secretary of State. She was out on 5 talk shows talking about Benghazi. She should be asked questions about that.
Judy is nodding in apparent agreement.
Absolutely. Total agreement. And I think it's just reprehensible that now Democrats seem to be attempting to change the subject by casting aspersions on the motivation of people who dare criticize the administration's explanation of what happened or didn't happen in Benghazi. I mean, I just really think it is outrageous to call somebody an old white guy and then accuse the critic of racism. Isn't it biased or bigoted to call someone an old white guy for raising policy questions?
One white guy who took a lot of heat from Democrats is John Bolton when he served as U.S. ambassador to the United States.
Yeah, well, and Toure said to me on Twitter, well, McCain called Rice mentally inferior, which he never did. So he's saying things that aren't true. And I asked, well, when did he say this? And he said, well, he called her incompetent.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but we have some breaking news. Sure, let's get back into our discussion about what this MSNBC anchor said with our News Watch panel. Judy Miller is here. Judy, to call somebody like Senator McCain, who has a lengthy record of public service and his wartime service before that, to refer to him as what, an old white guy who's losing his grip on power, that sounds racist in and of itself to me.
It certainly sounded bigoted, and if anybody had said an old black guy, can you imagine what the outcry would have been? I mean, this is just inappropriate. And moreover, his suggestion that Senator McCain was using this issue as a life raft, those are his words, life raft, to maintain his relevance to the political debate, that too is an insult that is completely unworthy of informed criticism.
Overlooked in much of this is the fact that Senator Kelly Ayotte, a woman,
of course, that
was one of the principal opponents, or has been to this point one of the principal opponents.
Well, and she's the one who said she might put a hold on the nomination. Susan Collins of Maine, who Democrats love, has come out and been quite critical of Rice as well. But it fits the storyline better to focus on the so-called angry white man.
You're a Democrat. You worked for Democrats on Capitol Hill, and you say that this charge that this whole thing is racist originated with Democrats.
Well, I mean, the first people to come out and say it were a bunch of female Congressional Black Caucus members had a press conference and made this accusation. And then it sort of has picked up steam from then, and now it's become to oppose her nomination is to be racist, to say that she handled something incompetently, which she did, is to be racist. You know, you can't say women should be, or that everybody should have equal opportunity to these positions, and then when they're held accountable, say you're racist or you're sexist. That's not. There has to be some sort of gender-based criticism or racial-based criticism, and I have yet to see that.
And give us a quick wrap, Judy, on the way the media is reporting this story.
Well, unfortunately, this theme is really creeping into mainstream media. It's not just MSNBC. It was the former Newsweek correspondent Richard Wolff who said that the attacks on Susan Rice were racist and there was no other way to look at it. I think we talked about that last week on Newswatch. I mean, this is outrageous, and it really stifles debate. You can have a policy disagreement without being bigoted or racist, and that's what this is, a policy dispute.
Judy Miller and Kirsten Powers, thanks.
Thank you.